Hi and welcome to Outwell. Here I'm going to talk you through the features of our Bahia 7, which is from our Superior collection. Now you can see here that the Bahia 7 is a large tunnel design tent and it's aimed to sleep up to 7 people. With it being in our Superior collection, you'll find that the fly sheet we're using on here is our Outtex 6000. This is a polyester material which has been PU coated on the inside. All of the seams have been taped to ensure that it's totally waterproof with a hydrostatic head of 6,000 millimeters. Also, what you'll find across all the darker blue panels on the tent is that we've actually embossed our Outwell logo on here just for that extra little bit of detail. The frame that we're using on here is quite unique in that it's a combination of steel poles for the main body of the tent, from front to back, and then in between each panel we actually have these Duratec fiberglass poles. Now this actually creates two different functions. One is that by having these poles on every single panel, it actually creates a completely solid structure, enabling you to move the tent once it's been erected to the position that you want the tent to be in. But also what that allows us is to have this area under here, which we have large ventilation panels under, and we will show you these in detail from the inside of the tent. Some of the other features that you find on the outside of the tent include our Outwell innovative wind stabilizer system. What this is the use of these Velcro tabs here, which are pre-attached to the fly sheet. What we then do is simply wrap them around the steel poles of the frame, attaching them like so. You'll find that there's one at the top and one at the bottom of every pole all the way down here, and that's where we have our guy lines attached. Now where we guy line the tent out, it pulls the whole fly sheet against the frame of the tent, ensuring that it's going to be very, very stable in high wind conditions. Speaking of the guy lines, you'll see that we are using our classic luminous guy lines all the way down here, so nice and bright, making sure that hopefully you're not going to trip over them. And then each guy line also has its own retainer, so when it comes to packing down the tent, we can wrap these up in our hands and pop them in here so that the next time we use them, they're nice and easily accessible. Another feature on this tent is the fact that we supply you with our easy pegging system. Now this is where we give you 3 different types of pegs. So we have the solid steel peg here, which can be used for the anchor points, which are on all the corners of the tent. We then give you the luminous plastic peg for all of the luminous guy lines, and we have the black plastic peg for all of the black pegging points around the tent. So the easy pegging system, making sure that you're getting the right peg in the right place. Some other features on the tent then, we can see that we have these large windows all the way down the sides, and these continue around the front. And each of these windows has been tinted, so it serves 2 key functions. One is to just reduce the amount of glare from sunshine inside the tent, and the second is to make sure that you get pretty much about as much privacy as you can do. So when we wander around to the front of the tent, you'll see that we do have a mud valance just at the bottom of these doors here. That just allows any rainwater that is on the tent just to run down and away from the inside. When we get round to the front of the tent, you'll see that we have a real good sized front door here, certainly a full walk-in height, and certainly wide enough to get all your furniture and bits and pieces into the tent as well. One thing just worth pointing out here is that the 2 panels that you can see at the side here can be fully opened. There are some zips just at the side here, and then the panels next to them can actually be rolled back to create a full open fronted tent. So when we step into this area, you can see there's plenty of space here. So this is our panorama room. It's called that quite simply because it's curved all the way around here, and you'll find that on every single panel you have large windows. As I mentioned, the windows are tinted, but still a perfect shade for you still to be able to see outside but get that privacy that you want. Also, then on every single window within the tent, you'll find that each one has its own curtain. So you can just see here that we have them toggled away at the moment. But if we just undo that toggle, you'll then find that we have the zips either side. So if we unroll the curtains, you can then just choose exactly how much light you're going to let in each of the windows. As I mentioned earlier on, with the hybrid frame system that we're using here, we have created these large vent openings at the top here. The great thing about these is that there are a few different options for you. Obviously we have this open at the moment, but with the use of the different zips that we have here, we can fully close like so, or if you want to, you can open up the curtain and then roll that back. That's going to leave you with a mesh panel, still lots of ventilation coming in, but not allowing any bugs into your living area. Then, Stepping back into the main living area of the tent, you can see that's divided by this large wall here, which has mesh panels across the top. It then has tinted windows underneath here. But a nice thing here is if you want to, you can actually open this full door up just to create one large area. Again, when you step back into the tent, you're certainly very aware of just how much space there is in here. I'm around 1.95 m tall. You can see there's plenty of height above me and plenty of space within the tent as well to ensure that we can have tables and chairs and things like this as well. Just while I'm here, I'll point out that we have a lantern hanging point in the centre of the tent, and then running away from that we have cable tidies which actually run down to a cable entry point, allowing you to bring in any electrics or cables through that rather than having any doors that are open. At the back of the tent is where you'll find the bedrooms, and as I mentioned earlier on, we can sleep up to 7 in this tent. So bedroom compartments themselves are split into 3 different sections, but you'll see that the way they're attached to the tent is using our wave-shaped hanging point system here. What this does is, first of all, creates a nice bit of detail, and we also have the colour coordinated top here, which ties in with all the colours on the tent. But also what it does is it takes any stress point off of the seam of the bedroom, making sure that it's nice and secure in its place. Another feature on here is that we're using piping all the way around all the zips on the bedrooms. Again, colour coordinated, but more functional in that it stops the zip from catching on any material, allowing you just to open and close the doors very easily. We also have our Outwell universal bedrooms on here, so what that means is if we want to, we can simply unclip around the front like so, and if we did that at the back as well, and take the 2 zips that are in the middle here, we could actually unzip the whole thing, roll that down and clip it away, so that you actually have even more living space and still are left with 2 bedrooms there. So as I say, we have some more features here. We have these mesh pockets on the outside, which are ideal for smaller bits and pieces. Then you'll find on the inside of the bedrooms there are more mesh pockets. There's also a large ventilation panel on the rear wall, which corresponds to outside ventilation on the tent as well. Just while we're in here, you'll also see that we have these dividing walls which can just be fully zipped open, and you'll also see that at the top of the bedrooms we actually have a darker colour here just to ensure that you're not going to have to wake up too early if it's very bright outside. The doors then also have mesh panels on these, so again plenty of ventilation options here, and these have curtains behind them for privacy. Now just over this side here you'll see that we have the opening on the side of the bedroom, and what we have done here is we have actually attached on our optional extra storage pod here, which just gives you even more space. Some other features within the tent, you'll find that there are actually 2 more doors, one on either side here, which can be opened up, again fully with drop down mesh panels to ensure lots of ventilation, and then there's another door on this side here also which can be fully opened as well. The ground sheet that we use for both areas is actually the same type of material. This is a double coated polyethylene, so it's very, very tough and durable, and it has a hydrostatic head of 10,000 millimeters. What you'll find is in the back of the tent it is fully sealed all the way around, protecting you from the elements and hopefully keeping out those unwanted bugs. Then in your panorama room it actually just clips into place, just allowing you to be able to take it in and out easily to make sure that you can clean it. There are a few optional extras available for the tent, including a carpet for the living area at the back here, just for a little bit more comfort underfoot. There's also a footprint available to go under the tent as well for a little bit more protection. And then we have 3 separate pods that can be attached to any of the panels with the external zips, including a cuisine pod, a storage pod and a side pod. So that's all the features of our Bahia 7. Thank you very much for watching.